My name is Madeline.
I'm Anthony.
And welcome to Good Vibes, Bad Vibes. And today we're going to be discussing the dark side of Hollywood.
Or at least a
Just
small part.
A little part of the dark side of Hollywood. And also just discussing the dark side of the world we're living in, especially in 2020. A lot of dark topics, a lot of sensitive topics are coming out, and people's true sides are coming out. So, Anthony, what do you have for us?
I have Anne Hamilton, which is not a recent one, but it's a pretty big one in Australia. I pretty much think that this paved way for others in the United States, since it's not from the US. But the overall story of Anne Hamilton, who she was and what she did, brought a lot of inspiration to a lot of cultists and other things in the US. She said that, well, she believed that she was the reincarnation of Jesus Christ, or at least one of them, because it specifically stated that she believed that she was one aspect of Jesus Christ, not the Jesus Christ. So it was kind of confusing for me to wrap myself around that, but she went on to have just one child with the first marriage, and from there things went drastically different. She was a normal woman, but after she divorced the first man, she started believing that she was Jesus Christ or an aspect of it, and then she married this other guy, and then they bought a farm and they created this school or like a camp for all the children, and they were abducted actually, and they kept them locked in under the stairs of the house, which is a small room. They sometimes drown them in a bucket of water, like a couple of hours until they did something bad. They started drowning them in a couple of water.
Punishment?
Yep. They actually were molested by the cultists or the people in the cult too. The mom, or Anne, she's only the mother of one actually. Her name is I have the name somewhere. Sarah. Sarah is actually the only biological daughter she had. The others were abducted by her in the second marriage. I don't think he was involved with the sexual acts, but he was involved abducting them actually. But the other members of the cult, they were part of touching the kids, whatever. Sarah was actually the one that managed to escape, and she gave away everything to the authorities. She wrote a book, actually, an extensive, pretty disgusting book, because I didn't read it, but the parts that they were described to us, it was pretty disgusting the way they tortured these kids, and
they go into details.
Yeah, how they molested them, or at least her, Sarah, pretty specifically, the one that wrote the book. She went into really explicit details for that, and I was like, damn. And she actually managed to live a normal life. Like, this flew under the radar for a lot of time, up until I think it was 2018 that 60 Minutes managed to get out of an interview with her, and the interview didn't went as planned. The interview actually, she got really nervous and she got really cranky, and the people with her got really angry with the questions, because the questions were obviously directed to her attitude, her forms, and her ways of doing whatever she did. She claims that she never abducted any children, she never touched any children, she never abused any of them. But the weird part is the authorities in Australia, they never actually got to her. They never arrested her or anything. They know that she did something, but they cannot prove it. And Sarah, even though she gave the evidence, she's still a free lady. She's still, well, I don't know if she died actually, but she's never been convicted of anything. Like, why? And she also had ties with a lot of big people, like doctors, and by doctors I mean huge doctors and lawyers. She got also not in touch with Hollywood people, but she knew some actors and actresses back in the day, because like I said, this is not a recent thing. This came from the 90s and 80s. So
you have connections.
Yeah, she had
big
connections.
Out of things.
Yeah, and especially the doctor's part. And I'm thinking she had connections in the science section, because if she were to abuse these kids, they need somebody to take care of them and fly under the radar. They need a doctor that will attend them, but not say what they were doing. You know what I mean?
They pay
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no claims to send to insurance because you don't have to have insurance. You can pay by cash.
Yeah.
If you have the cash, you can do anything. So she was she created her own cult.
She created her own cult with the second husband.
With her kids were basically the members of that cult.
Yep. And not members, but they knew about the cult. But the members of the cult knew about the children, and they went doing things to the children, and they abducted other children as well, not just the ones. She had 10, I think it's. She had 10 in her like nuclear, like everyday family members per se. But outside of those 10, she abducted more children, and she gave them away to these cult people. And Sarah, it's weird that Sarah, how do you say this? She exposed her, but she's still with her. She's still with Anne. She's not. I don't.
She talks about her, but she still cares about her.
Yeah, I mean, and she's still.
I wonder if she's brainwashed.
Yeah, that's what I think happened. But in the 60-minute interview, it was weird because they showed the inside of the house, and every single thing that Sarah told everybody that she wrote in this book is actually there. The room down the stairs is actually there, and they have like little toys and everything, and it's like.
So why expose her if you're not really gonna do anything about
Exactly, and then she's really wealthy, and but again.
Why do anything if you? Why say anything? It's hard to say that, but why? If you're not gonna do anything about it, then just be quiet. But that's not the point. You want to expose it, but maybe she feels like someone else. Please take the reign over. Take the power. Maybe she's that powerful.
What I didn't understood was the whole Jesus Christ part, because essentially Jesus Christ is speaking of hope. That's not become hope. And why did she feel the need to say that she was Jesus Christ? And this whole thing happened, and then she denies it, and then the evidence is there.
Because that's how all cult leaders start off.
And everyone in the cult believes her, like core, I believe, which is Jesus Christ. And it's weird because if I go now to the outside people, like my neighbor right now, and I'm like, I'm Jesus Christ, he's not gonna believe me. What did this girl at the moment, did she prove to everybody that she did a miracle or something? And that part is never explained actually. That part was really barely in any way I can find. But to me, it's like, how can these professionals, doctors, lawyers, people like that believe her out of the, okay, yeah, I trust you, yeah, I believe you.
Normally when someone joins a cult, it's because something in their life broke them. They're so broken that they're looking for answers, or they're looking for someone that is stronger than they are to take the reins. And even if they're, it's not that they have the profession, it might be that the doctor is also broken. He just has a title, and the lady, it might be comforting. She maybe has that motherly feel that they trust her so much that they're willing to do anything for them. A cult leader, if you look at all cult leaders, why do people join them? It's because they give them confidence. They give them that love that someone else probably didn't give them. They give them that attention, and we may think it's weird, but it's probably what they're looking for. A sense of belonging. And to us on the outside, it seems weird. Actually, just because I'm high. To us on the outside, it seems weird, but to them at that time, being part of that cult was the answer. A sense of belonging. Aren't we all looking for someone to love and care us? And when you're part of that group, trust me, you don't care. You're blinded to everyone else. You're part of that world, and that's it. They love you. They show it, they demonstrate it, but we think it's weird. But to them, it's the answer. And I only say that because I was part of a cult.
Then it brings a stupid question. If it's good for them, why should it be bad for us?
But who are we to judge them? Because we only judge because we think it's wrong, but who are we? That's your belief, but this is my son, and this is what you believe, and this is what I believe. Sometimes it won't mix, but who am I to judge it? As long as they're not harming anyone, join whatever cult. As long as you're not harming anyone. But it's when you start harming someone physically...
Oh, no, but I'm not talking about the cult itself. I'm talking about that, the harming. Why do you build a cult to harm people? I mean, a cult to me is to specifically adore and worship an entity that doesn't belong in this world, in the 3D, 4D world, in your flesh and bone world. So I'm basically worshiping Jesus or God or the devil or Lucifer or whatever you want to put it. But a cult should not go do this to children just for the sake of their worshiping this supposedly entity. Neither of them actually ask for this kind of act. You know what I mean? The devil doesn't ask you, okay, go ahead and rape that kid. No. Nowhere in the Bible says that for you to make a pact with the devil, you need to force a kid to have sex with you. No, all you have to do is sold yourself to the devil and that's it. I know, but none of the other books out there says anything about if you want to worship any evil entity, you need to touch a kid in a bad way. You need to rape them. No, you're doing it because you like it, not because of the cult.
It's not the cult, it's man. That's it. It's not the cult. It's when a person gets too big in their head that they think that they become a god. That for real, there's a lot of cults out there. These cult leaders that they're Oriental. They literally thought that they were God. Found them believe that they were gods until they died. They weren't gods. And you're like, well, how could you be part of that? Why did you believe them? In the beginning, they were nice and caring, but after a while, their true intentions come out. They think because you trust them so much, I can do anything. You're my property. They no longer care for you. They view you as a property, and as my property, I can physically harm you because I own you. I own you. You own me because I care for you when you're your lowest. Sure. Who was there for you? No one. Who was there for you? I was. That's how they play with you. They play with your mind. If you go outside the world, no one will love you. Everyone will leave you behind. That's why I'm telling you, they only stay because they feed you. They stay in your mind. They don't have to hit you. They play with your mind. And that is dangerous.
That's what the Scientology's church does. I mean,
it's not only hitting; it's also playing with your mind.
Then we look at the article that Julie sent us, and we have a different story. It's the same outcome, but it's a different story. You know what I mean? It's not. She's not claiming to be a Jesus Christ or a God. She's not claiming to be any entity. She's just doing it for the money. Like, again, what's happening? What's going through your mind to give up your child to people like this? What besides money? You have to have at least that small piece of the puzzle that will say you're doing something really bad, something wrong, something you will regret. Not today, not tomorrow, maybe not in a few fucking years, but yes, you will regret it eventually. And they go with it. It's kind of disturbing because we kind of let it go, because I'm one that always see weird behavior and never actually report it. I actually have a neighbor in my condominium. It's weird, but I feel like she actually does abuse her kid really bad, in a sense that she does more than just hitting them. I've seen it through my window, but then again, I don't ever call the police or anything because it's none of my business. You know what I mean? And I kind of feel like this is all our faults because we let it go fly under the radar, but I don't know.
You can report it or not, honestly.
But still, to jump to this, to sell your kids for money, it's weird and it's so awful.
When I was little, and let me tell you why you should want to report it, because the girl behind my house, she would physically beat the living shit out of the girl every day. She would hit any of her kids. She only hit her, right? Because she was the husband's daughter. She would beat her so bad. And so my mom told her, if you hit that girl one time, my mom don't speak Spanish, so my mom said it in English and made sure that the whole block heard. If I hear that girl scream one more time, I'm going to call the cops. And my mom did. They got the girl, and you know that girl 15 years later knocked on my mom's door and told her thank you. She saved her life. So if you think someone is being abused, and if you know, and because you, and the things you have to have evidence, you can't just be, oh, they're hitting her. Okay, there's a
My
difference
mom
between
hit me
discipline.
really bad.
There's discipline, and then there's abuse. Like, if you know that they're being abused, and I know you don't want to because it's none of my business, the next time that might be the last time you hear that girl cry.
True.
And then you might be feeling, I should have done something. I'm sorry, but it was at the moment. If you know, go report it, or at least leave a note. Like, if you don't want to do it anonymously, but don't let that be the last night. Because what if that mother flips out and she just grabs a knife? Because a lot of the articles that you see online is that the neighbor said, I heard it, but I wasn't sure if it was none of my business. Make it your business. If you see it, report it. Because that might be the last time that girl might be alive. And who knows if that mom is bringing other guys in. But that's hard. That's the part that, that's none of my business, or should I do it, should I not? That's up to you, man. That's hard.
Especially when they don't like you as a neighbor.
But what if they don't like you because they know they're doing something shady in their house, and it's only to keep you away?
Obviously, but still, I don't want to be that person. I do know for a fact that kid, and she's a stay-at-home mom because the husband is the one that always go out. But I know that those kids are really like disciplined in a big way because they're always crying. There's always, I hear the sound when you hit something, your skin with the hand. And it's constantly, and it's weird because even though I hear them crying or like the kids saying stuff, like an hour or two goes by and then they're playing again. So that, I don't know if it's the mom being too bad, or my mom used to hit me like 6 times a day.
Discipline, or you're not sure.
But to me, it sounds really bad because one of the kids always screams really like, you can feel it in her scream. It's like really weird. But then 1 hour goes by and they're playing again, so I was like, okay. But this has been for a couple of months. Maybe it's because of the coronavirus too.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. You don't know when
but,
to do it. Is it my business? Should I
but
intervene?
still,
should I not? Yeah. But
if
you like seen it like in the window, like literally like hurt, but it's like, then yeah. But if you're conflicted, then I'll just wait. Wait till you see something. It's hard. You don't know. Are you just disciplined because you bad kids?
I know I have a good hearing, that's for sure. So I hear that slap really clear because it's my window. It's next to the
girl. I will watch that mom like she like lucha libre style. That girl in the back of the house. That poor girl would have scars, and we were in the same school. I would see welts on her leg. That's why my mom did it, because we saw it. My mom put your hands down. She was horrible. Horrible. And she wouldn't hit any other kids. All the other kids were going crazy. The girl dropped something, she would whack her with a frying pan. Oh man, so much I saw.
Wow.
Yeah, they got in, they took her out, the girl came back. That was the best feeling my mom was like, thank you.
For more than 30 years, this is the only glimpse the world has had of Australia's most secret cult leader.
She has a face of a cult leader.
No, but you can tell that she did a lot of plastic surgery and that nerve.
A lot of Botox too.
To the children she beat and abused, a monster. Now, for the first time, Anne Hamilton Byrne has agreed to talk. Were the children ever hit?
Of course they weren't.
Because
they were not.
Never.
Never. You'd have to be pretty good to see through that bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. It's lies.
But this is to be no ordinary interview. It didn't happen, has it?
No, but what about if they...
Well, that's crucial, isn't it? That's crucial. I don't abuse my children.
No, yes.
Some of the sect members aren't happy about our presence.
That's why I'm considering living a lie.
Because your entire life is a network of lies.
And less happy still, the children of the sect are fighting back, demanding the truth finally be told about their brutal treatment at the hands of Anne Hamilton Byrne.
Of all the crimes that I investigated, she is the most evil person that I've ever met.
Next to man was the Victorian detective who, for years, pursued the cult.
These people truly believe that she is Jesus Christ.
Anne's followers include
She looks
dozens
like
of
a
respected middle-class
Tiger King.
professionals.
Oh, that's right.
Just with red hair.
Teachers, all willing to do the bidding of their master.
I was told to leave my first wife and go up to the hills. I did. I was told
Can you look
to
like up of
that
a
I was going to have a baby.
signs of a cult leader?
And I did.
I want to have a cult.
Anne
I'm
began
weird.
building
We can. I've always
at
told
a
you, like, we
highway
can make a
label
church.
near Melbourne.
We need some money. That's why. That's why, right? You wanna, you know, you wanna be the one from House.
My mother was a 15-year-old
What's the show on
girl whose
Netflix?
doctor was a member of a
You
sect.
wanna have your own
And the
cult
doctor
at
organised the
where you
adoption.
can.
Drugged my mother. and
Oh,
took
Klaus.
See, you wanna be Klaus.
From Umbrella Academy, yeah.
believing that
Fill in
Anne
out
was
the
her
links
natural
But
that all the other children were her real brothers and sisters. And to convince outsiders they were all related, Anne died.
Well, I just thought I'd give them more room.
People don't try and take their life because their house is too small.
You're not smart enough
For what?
in your heart. What's in your heart is not the same.
I don't know what you mean by that.
No, of course you don't.
They're saying that
She's
they were
deviating the
systematically
conversation.
abused and beaten.
That's why she's
Why
trying
would
to take
children
charge.
say
She
if
always
it wasn't
does.
true?
I don't believe they did.
They've said it.
She's too into her head.
You're getting the point.
She believes
over.
her own
That's
lies.
a fucking wig. Nobody can tell
It
me.
doesn't matter that you are.
Remember, she's trying to be blonde. She probably like black
I'm
hair.
not looking for trouble, I'm looking for the answers.
One day your children will betray you, and then you'll know how hard it is to not
He's
to,
been
to just
brainwashed.
be yourself.
This is Michael Stevenson, one of Anne Hamilton Byrne's most devoted followers, and likely to take over as leader of the cult when she dies. All the children made all of this up, did they?
Hey, they were
Well,
paid
well,
for
I'm
it.
asking
They
you
were
that.
paid for it.
I'm asking you that.
You were paid a lot of money. You were certainly paid.
I'm asking you. So it didn't happen in your eyes either.
I had a son there.
And how did he go?
Fine.
Was he abused?
No, of course not.
Was he beaten? Was he disciplined?
Of course not. There's part of natural discipline in families. No, he was never beaten. He has never said that he was beaten.
He fell into the wayside.
He didn't. He didn't fall in a heap. You lot did.
We want to get on with our lives. We want to forget the past.
The truth is, the children from the sect have been speaking about what happened to them for more than 2 decades, ever since they were freed in a police raid on the Eildon house. 2 have sued the cult over their barbaric treatment and won compensation. All Sarah has ever asked for is the truth to be told.
For someone like Michael, just tell me that I'm a liar.
No, you're
And
living
so-
a lie.
I'm not living a lie, Michael.
As far as I'm concerned, you're living a lie. And
Because
you're
your
taking
entire
suffering
life
punishment
is a
for
network
it.
of
You're
lies.
suffering for it.
I'm
We
suffering.
all live lies. We all are living a lie.
Well, I've suffered in
Good
this
point.
life. It's because of what happened. I can't blame.
As long as you blame others, you're nowhere. You're nowhere.
Anne Hamilton Byrne has managed to escape justice all her life. She and her husband Bill were extradited from the United States, where they'd been living in one of her New York mansions. But Anne was convicted of only one offence: falsely registering the birth of 3 of the adopted children, including Sarah. Even the simple truth of Sarah's birth seems beyond these pathological lies. Did you carry Sarah? Were you her biological mother?
Well, I'd naturally believe I was. Of course I would.
She has a biological mother.
She was led to
Do you
believe
have
she
DNA
was,
proof?
so I was.
Please do, yeah.
Do you? See, you always put it on other people, but do you?
Michael, you're living a fantasy.
No, I'm not. You're living in a fantasy of pain and deprivation.
He's definitely part of the. He's like one
Sarah
of
has
the
met
users.
the
the
natural
one that was
mother
top-
and sees her often.
Her right hand man.
What she had wanted was some kind of understanding
Which I'm
from the
guessing is
woman
this
who
guy.
for so many years pretended to be her mother. But in the end, this now tragic figure squandered what could have been her last opportunity to make amends. Why don't you apologise then? It's so easy.
Because I don't believe in you.
Will you apologise to her?
Of course I will. the right time if I have to. Of course I will.
It's hard to believe, but Sarah has already forgiven Anne. She became a doctor and now helps children in India. This gutsy woman is determined to make something of her life.
You're an amazing person.
It's a very troubled times. I try and contribute, I do. If I can do something, make things worthwhile, I feel. Sometimes I feel it's not worthwhile, but I'll give it a go when I can.
She probably has it because they probably didn't let her have anything.
I don't know why.
I relate so much to her.
Everybody in the family, porque solamente they only interview on what? They only show like 6 of them, which.
Because the other ones have, they have a case of probably like.
But still. Alright. Well, guys, that will be the brief story or history behind Anne Hamilton, one of many cultist leader in Australia, because like I said before in the beginning of the video, this is one of many cults inside Australia, and there are others actually that I wanted to talk and we're going to be touching about.
I like this little section.
Yeah, Hamilton was one that I actually really fell for because of the entire story of the children, and it's basically Sarah. She's taking a lot of her time and power to come on forward with those allegations. Like you heard, guys, there's nothing of a happy ending for neither of these people. There's still an ongoing investigation / battle between the other children and Anne. She's refusing not to apologize, and if there's a time for apologies, she will say it. Other than that, she's a free woman in New York, which is kind of like, I don't know, scary. And it's even scarier that to think that her cult can actually continue on after she's dead with her right-hand man. And other than that, hopefully you guys enjoy it. You can come up with your own conclusions and let us know in the comments down below. How do you feel?
And we're bringing more. Hope you like
this is only the tip of the iceberg. This is just the cherry on top.
Yeah,
so
don't forget to...
It's going to get darker.
To like, subscribe, and comment. Let us know which cults you would like for us to speak about or anything on the dark side. Let us know. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.